I think the book overall was extremely cathartic. It wasn't easy to write by any means in more ways than one. I just felt like this was my chance to tell my truth and my story 100%. No editing other than, by me and a copy editor. But I just wanted to put it all out there. I feel like I have worn this scarlet letter for so long. I'm this home wrecking whore every day in the comments, and he's the one who lied. He is the one who cheated. He is the home wrecker. I don't want to say I was innocent, but I did not know. I was lied to by a man, a 33-year-old man, when I was 21, fresh out of college. I feel like people tend to forget that. They see 27-year-old Scheana on season 1 of Vanderpump Rules, and it's as if the Eddie situation happened the year before. I was already with Shay for a couple years when we were filming season 1. So all of this, I like to remind people, happened in 2006. We weren't on air until 2013. There was a lot of time that had passed, a lot of growth that I had been through. And it was a story that I felt like needed to be told again, because I don't think anyone took it seriously back then. I think they just saw me as this girl who wanted to be with famous guys and saw this guy and didn't care that he had a pregnant wife at home. Now, looking back, obviously hindsight is 2020. Were there red flags? Absolutely. I felt like I was leading with my heart and not my brain. And I think another common misconception is that I'm not smart. And I am. I am extremely smart. I am educated. I have my degree. However, when my brain told me this guy might be lying to you, my heart told me, no, you should believe everything he's saying because he loves you. And looking back, gosh, there's so many things I wish I could change. I don't like to have regrets in life, but one thing I do regret was opening up to media about Eddie. Once there were some photos that had leaked, I'm certain from a friend of mine who was on the boat with us, because that's who had the photos. Once those were out there, I was just like, you know what? You hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you. And that was an extremely immature 22, 23-year-old response. I wasn't thinking about his wife and toddlers at home who were potentially watching this interview. And people like to say that I like to make everything about me and whatnot. This was an instance where I was only thinking about myself in that situation. And that was not okay. It was extremely immature. It was extremely irresponsible. And it is one thing that I do heavily regret in life. I am so sorry to Brandy for her having to find out about me the way that she did. She didn't deserve any of that. And lo and behold, look what my husband did to me. It really felt like I truly got my karma. And did I deserve for that to happen? No. But I told myself that I did. And that's been something that I am working on in therapy, because I know I didn't deserve that. But I think it also helped me move towards a path of forgiveness a little easier, because part of me does feel like I deserved that, even though I was the one who was lied to and I didn't know. No, how crazy. I've never ran into them. Leanne and I have talked on social media. I think we still follow each other on X. Her and I have DM'd, we've texted. Brandy and I stay in touch. But Eddie, I have had zero contact and zero run-ins with in 17 years? How insane is that? I'm shocked. I've ran into John Mayer multiple times, Jesse Metcalf multiple times. Just saw JC Chazé the other day. Like, how have I never run into Eddie? I think that there must have been times where we were in the same room and he avoided me like the plague. There's no way in 17 years in Los Angeles that we just didn't cross paths. That's insane. I had a great time with him. You know, he was a great guy, very much a gentleman. He loved to pull out the guitar and serenade, which is like, you know, every girl's dream who's a John Mayer fan. It felt like I was living in a dream. I was just like, someone pinch me. Is this life? Like, what is happening? It was, you know, his house, my house. And yeah, I mean, I had a great time with him. I was never trying to make it known that I was hanging out with him. I enjoyed our time and I didn't want him to think I was this girl who was like trying to be known for dating John Mayer. I just enjoyed our private time together. And I was 22, 23 at the time. I was not looking for anything serious. I loved being single. I lived my best single life in the late 2000s in Hollywood. But I did. And you know, it's like I could have said more, but I was like, you never know. There could be another book one day. But with John, I honestly never would have said anything. Like I would have just probably taken it to my grave. Like that was a fun time we had. But unfortunately, it wasn't always just the two of us hanging out. There were other girlfriends around, some of my guy friends around, and one of those people opened up their mouth to the wrong person. Word got out. My mom is literally driving my little sister to like middle school. She's listening to Ryan Seacrest on Kiss FM. It's the morning sleaze. Scheana Marie, cocktail waitress, dating John Mayer. And my mom calls me. I have another guy in my bed as my mom calls. And I was like, oh my God, you up, out, what am I going to do? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's never going to talk to me again. He's going to think I did this when I absolutely didn't. But, you know, I then got fired for this fraternizing that I partaked in. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have started working at Villa Blanca. Vanderpump Rules might not exist. So thank you, John. Jesse Metcalf was such a sweetheart. Honestly, I mean, I had a crush on him when I was just a college student going with my girlfriends to see John Tucker Must Die and watching Desperate Housewives on the couch with my mom. I mean, he was a dreamboat. He still is. Look at him. He looks great. But also, you know, I was 21 going on 22, and it was a time in both of our lives. I think we weren't ready for that intense of a relationship. It was a lot really quickly, but he was an absolute sweetheart, still is. When I see him, you know, we say hello. He knows Brock. They've played poker together before. And yeah, also Shane West, we had some good times together, and he's also a talented musician. I feel like people don't know that about him. Go to some of his shows and whatnot. But every person I named in the book, Shamar Moore, another absolute gentleman, drop dead gorgeous. I remember being very young, watching Young and the Restless with my grandparents, being like, oh my God, Malcolm, that guy. And then I see him at a Super Bowl party in Miami, and, you know, he catches my eye, I catch his, and then we're at his place in LA when we got back in town.